Gavin Newsom says he and his wife are being investigated by the Department of Justice. According to Newsom, the DOJ has, quote, not found a crime. They are simply trying to find one. Joining us, White House attorney in the first Trump administration, Cobb. He's also a former federal prosecutor. Thank you for joining us, first of all, Ty. It's really good to have you. I just wonder, on just the face of this, are you surprised that the governor would announce this?
No, I'm not surprised that he would announce it. I think that's a smart move. There's no reason to hide it. We know that this president has targeted people with whom he has disagreements. I
guess more to the point, are you surprised that he might be investigated by this DOJ?
Oh, not at all. I mean, the DOJ and Hegseth went after Senator Kelly from Arizona, a potential presidential candidate. Newsom's a potential presidential candidate. I think most presidential candidates, just like most presidential candidates, should expect that they will be met with abuses of this sort. I think we know that the elections themselves are a singular target of this administration, and they're after voter rolls that they're not entitled to, and they're keeping the Insurrection Act alive as a possibility to interfere with the election. So I think anything that can be done to try to cling to power at a time that his credibility and his popularity is crumbling is something we should all suspect.
Why is his department, headed now by Todd Blanche, who he wants, by the way, to be the official attorney general, why do they go along with what appear to be the political retribution that Donald Trump desires?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think it's sad, obviously. I think, public officials take an oath. Their duty is to the Constitution. Sadly, Pam Bondi made it clear early on in the Great Hall of Justice that she was dedicating her role and her office and her entire department to serving Trump, not the Constitution. Blanche, as Trump's former personal defense attorney, has certainly done his bidding, pursuing revenge prosecutions against Comey, trying to help Trump robbed the American taxpayers of $1.8 billion to create a slush fund to reward the January 6th people who assaulted Congress and tried to take over the Capitol on a fateful day in January of 2025. So I think this is really, 2021. I think this is really a tragedy that we have such a lack of character among public servants these days, and hopefully some will come forward with courage and with integrity.
Interestingly, on the subject of integrity and character, there is some reporting also from the Times about a memo by Will Scharf, who's in the White House, pushing back on Stephen Miller, on J.D. Vance, regarding an attempt to try to suspend habeas corpus for immigrants in this country in order to get them out of here quicker, and also to try to use the Insurrection Act to put down the protests in Minnesota. Can you tell me what you think of, first off, Will Scharf, who he is, and whether you are surprised that he would push back on any attempts in this White House to gain more power?
Well, I think, make no mistake, Mr. Scharf is a brilliant lawyer, well-educated, has been very effective in his time at the bar. But he is very conservative. He was involved in many of the cases that helped Trump assemble and accumulate power. But he certainly, based on the memo and the reporting, is principled enough to understand that the suspension of habeas corpus is
Oh, it looks like we just lost Ty Cobb. That's too bad. So this is Will Scharf. He's the one that pushed back against trying to suspend habeas corpus, a move that Stephen Miller was advocating for in order to deport